All right, guys, so we are here with the one and only Brad Christian. A handful of you guys might know him from his days at Matthews. A handful of you might know him from his days now currently at Sitka. He's an area guy. You're from the La Crosse area, maybe not from, but you reside in the La Crosse area.
Yep.
And as you may know, he is here in Louisville with us. We're going to do a little chat here, not so much about product, a lot about just the life of an outdoorsman and of somebody that works in the industry that's not Anthony and myself that's, putting stuff on bows. You're doing a lot more boots to the ground type stuff. So a little bit of introduction background about you.
Yeah, so appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, Brad.
I've been at Sitka for about 2.5 years. Before that, I was with Matthews Archery and spent about 3 years in the La Crosse area.
Yep.
Originally from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and now in Bozeman, Montana. So hardcore bow hunter and archer. Love the technical aspects of archery and kind of nerd out over it. And also love gear. Love great products. Solving problems through technology and just cool gear.
Yeah. So kind of what brought you from Colorado Springs to big old Sparta, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Right. So Matthews is what brought me there. I've always been a bow hunter and have been a huge. Matthews is. If you're into computers, maybe it's Steve Jobs, and for me it was Matt McPherson. And to have the opportunity to come be part of a team that I loved so much was, absolutely worth it. So packed up the family, and they moved us out to Wisconsin, and it was just such a honor, to be perfectly honest, to get to go do that. I was kind of pinching myself.
Yeah.
And had a great run and got to meet you fine people, and here we are, all back together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then going from Matthews to Sitka, it's a big change, but I feel like a lot of times it's very similar because you see the two brands together a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's similarities in, well, one, just from a value standpoint, which is awesome. That's kind of, the inside game, which is great. But from a standpoint of developing products that truly solve problems and that are best in class, there's no corners cut on a Matthews bow, right? I mean, it's every aspect of it is thought through, and it's quality over quantity, and the same thing is with Sitka. So coming over, it was the same kind of philosophy in developing product, in storytelling, telling more than just a kill shot, telling stories that that matter. And so it was a pretty seamless transition, to be honest.
Yeah, and sometimes you almost I've had it last year with the catalogs.
Yeah,
I flipped them over. And I brought him to Anthony in the office, and I said, which one's Sitka and which one's Matthews? Because your guys' brands align so perfectly. And they're such strong brands. Like you said, they're huge in the industry. I mean, you guys have two of the biggest booths in the building here.
Sure.
And then they're so seamlessly transitioned, which is, I would hope, is something that you guys are kind of looking for. You kind of partner up with a team that's like-minded and,
absolutely,
like you said, they're the best products that they can make.
Absolutely.
Solve problems. As far as, like you said, telling a story, one thing that our customers know you from, I'm sure we had a lot of conversations with customers about it, was your Proving Ground video that you guys did this fall with the launch of the Verdicts. Can you tell a little bit about that, how that story was made, what brought it about, how that kind of stuff worked?
Absolutely. It was an authentic deal, right? So, Matt has a process, we kind of call it Proving Ground. He does a lot of lab testing and everything that the team does, but he also sends bows out to the field. It's often, once you have a product in your life and what we say, like doing life with it, that you kind of notice, oh, this zipper should be like this, or this kind of thing is messed up, and that doesn't happen until you're doing life with it.
Yep.
And so we send a bunch of bows out, I say we because I still feel like I'm there sometimes, but they send a bunch of bows out, and this year we talked about just kind of documenting some of that process authentically, like, hey, use a cell phone even, or just whatever, let's do it. And we kind of, well, what if we didn't use a cell phone? What if we used, the real camera, but kind of want it to feel like a cell phone, and just documented the truth. And so, like, what's going to come of that? They were like, well, what will it be about? And I'm like, it's going to be life. What happens? And I can't tell you what'll happen yet, but we'll see. And they were like, all right, let's do this. And so we just started documenting from the first bow when it arrived. First time I saw it was on camera and pulled it out, and it was like, what is this thing? You know, it looked totally weird, you know, and it was fun to show consumers that because they don't get to see those raw bows.
Yeah,
like
they're on a shelf at the shop.
Yeah, and they're all done.
Every time I open a bow when I pick it up from Matthews, it's cool. It's
it's all done.
Christmas every third day, you know, and people don't get to see that emotion every once in a while when you're opening that bow up. And
when you go to R&D at Matthews, you come in and, you know, Matt and his team have all these crazy looking bows, and one of them like spray painted pink because it means that's, you know, this one and this, and it's, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, cool, you know, so I thought it was fun to be able to show people what that kind of looks like, and then we just authentically filmed life, and I think that's what kind of resonated with people is it's relevant, you know, to their life. They can relate to it. You know, we've all been hunting with a buddy, you know, road trips, etc., and we just had a good time doing it.
Yeah, that's the big word for me that I saw from it was that, like you said, driving for us, it's driving 20 hours to get to Muley Country, you know. But you guys, you know, the authenticity of that video was something that I think really struck a chord with a lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen that too, you know, or you felt that or heard that.
Totally.
Another thing that I find really cool that Sitka does, you know, that Proving Ground is with Matthews, that Sitka does I think it's every fall, is your guys' Diverge series.
Yep.
I don't know if our customers are quite up to that. I don't know if that's something they've been looking at. I know there's a lot that have, but you know, we've got such a wide net at La Crosse Archery that that Diverge series. Can you tell a couple of our customers about that a little bit?
Yeah. So Diverge is might sound dramatic, but it's a photo contest, but it's kind of a movement. And what I mean by that is, you know, years ago, Sitka started showing images that were more than just a grip and grin, you know, telling stories about the whole process, whether you're fletching arrows or, you know, your grandpa's telling a story, and started promoting images like that. And what's been fun is people who identify with that are going, hey, that's awesome. And they started sending us their pictures that were like that. And so we called it Diverge, just meaning to be divergent, to you know, to disrupt, to, you know, do something different, and it's just caught on. And you know, people, what it is for Sitka, it's a platform. You know, we get to host that conversation, if you will, of people sharing their images with like-minded people, and there's great prizes. We do we get some of the best photographers in the industry together to judge the images and to communicate with people.
Those little round table discussions. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's a good time, and it's such an honor to get to look at everybody's work and provide feedback to people, and everybody wants to grow. It's fun. It's a really cool deal.
And that's a thing that during the fall I love watching that, you know, because I got a lot of buddies that are hunters, and you can see the different levels, but they're all sharing that same experience. You know, 100%. Whether or not they're shooting out of their cell phone, or they're bringing their cannon out in the swamp with them, or in the woods with them, they're still feeling that same emotion when they're taking that picture.
Yeah.
You know, the quality of the picture might be different, but everybody's end goal is the same.
Yeah.
You know, and something like this.
100%. Like the photo I chose last year as you know, my judge select or something it was called, was, you know, two guys sitting there in camo in a taco truck just eating tacos, and one of our photographers gave me a hard time because it's not a super technical image, but it's like, it didn't matter to me. It's such a relatable, like, you know, how hungry you get after, you know, you come out of the mountains, like you're just like, I'm gonna destroy a pizza, or like and these guys like wound up at some taco shop, and it's an awesome story. And so that's really what we're looking for, more than, you know, the great technical photos, great, but you can figure that out on YouTube pretty quick about how to take a technical image, you know?
Doing something real.
But the real story, you know,
they don't always have people in them either. I remember that one,
it
was last year too, that with it was that truck bed with like the white-tailed leg. It was a truck bed with like a half a leg.
Totally.
And it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
There was not a soul in sight.
Yeah, and the chip paint, you know, and you're like, you know, what are all the things this truck bed has had in it?
In there.
You know, from, you know, dirt to, you know, whatever, you know, to whatever. You think about the history of the truck, and an image that can help you think and fill in the gaps, you know, make believe, if you will, about what that life could have been like. That's what we're looking for.
And it's crowdsourced too, which is awesome.
Super fun.
It's working with your customers, and kind of circling back, that's what Sitka and Matthews, you know, that world is all about. It's more than, you know, just gear. You know, it's more than the hunting experience. It's guys sitting at a table picking out customers' pictures that they think tell a story best.
Absolutely, it's our lifestyle. You know, we're hunters 365 days a year. We're not limited by season dates. You know, we're always this way, and so to show that lifestyle, I think that's, you know, again, same with the film, I think that's what resonates, is just all those other parts,
Yep.
you know, they're not, you know, killing an animal that make us who we are. You know?
It's the process and
Yeah.
the stories and the
Yeah.
you know, the memories, the
Yeah.
photos. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, so kind of wrapping up, you know, one, I really appreciate sitting down with you. You know, you've been a guy that I've kind of looked after, you know, as far
Yeah.
as your vision, what you do. You know, you're so authentic, and you know, and you've aligned yourself with companies that do that.
Yeah,
and you
I
know,
appreciate it.
and I think at Crosse Archery we're a little sliver of that, where we do the same thing. We try to, at least.
Absolutely.
And it means a lot to us. One, that you just sit down with us, and two, that you know, all your work is something that we're able to share with our customers. So.
Yeah. It's an honor for me, honestly, to get to see all you guys and again have it come full circle.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's
so
fun.
you guys will always have a space for, you know, in my heart. So
a
I
maroon
appreciate
polo
it.
shirt space in your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Brad, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll
Thank you, guys.
catch up with you when we get back home, back to Wisconsin. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.